hanging out, waiting to see if everybody caught up. Mm. I wonder if it's possible while you're uploading one to do another one. Oh, there's Lone Star Living. Deja vu! Good morning! You're first in the chat again. That's awesome. And there's Teresa Jukenwitz. Bad Wabbit set us up now. Thank you very much, Bad Wabbit. So there's Lost Light. Shalom, SK. Let's see who else can. Oh, Christy Hubbard. There's Grandma Ginger's farm. There's Tim back. Good morning again. Yes, it's good to see everybody. Perks of working from home. Shalom and good morning. Mad Cat, what are you working on this morning? I know you're not sitting around doing nothing. And there's Patty Sanchez. So shalom. Hey, Patty, you got your garden started? Getting ready to go feed sheep. Gonna listen in my drive. There you go. Feeding sheep is always a good thing. I love seeing the sheep, even though my favorite, of course, is the goats. I love seeing the sheep just because they're like, bleh. They're so predictable and they're just fluff. They're fluff in a field. There's NWA Prepper again. Shalom. Do you have your tomatoes and stuff started now? There's Edwin Merritt and Highlander. Can you garden in the Highlands right now, or is it too cold? This time is wonderful, says Bad Wabbit. Building hoop houses, getting ready to plant wheat and sorghum. Okay, but I need to give you a little tip if you'd like on sorghum. I don't want to tell you that you're doing it wrong. I just want to give you a tip, if that's okay. Seeds started, they've sprouted. Yay! Looks like tomatoes and peppers. I have kale and purslane and peas up and going. Yay, Highlander. That's a great start. I bought kale. All right. Truth in advertising, I bought kale. I couldn't find any kale seeds. If I do, I'm going to plant more kale, but I do have turnip. I planted a bunch of turnip. I love turnip greens. Matchell says go. Okay, so I took a course with a local lady. It was a master's class for university. And sorghum should not go in the ground until it's at least 60 degrees in the soil. So you're going to want to wait to plant that sorghum, unless you start it inside, until the soil is truly warm. She usually plants in like June or July. Good morning from Muddy, South Carolina. Getting ready to up pot 70-ish pepper seedlings today. Wow, Terra Firma, you are not playing around. I used the seed block deal this year. Highly recommend it. Tell me about the seed block deal. I'm not as familiar. We're working on tiering the banks at our placing, making them into productive growing space. I can send you pics if you want. Yeah, I'd love to. And here on the mountain, I put logs horizontal to, if the mountain's like this, I put logs like this to catch the soil when the water runs down, and it actually works. It makes beds, and that's what they do in like the Philippines. For their rice paddies, they tier the mountains and it catches the water, and then they grow the rice in there. So it's a really good practice if your yard is slanted, or your garden. Bee ski. Can't really get much going right now. Too dang cold still. Plus, we love us some peppers. Peppers are very flavorful and they're good for you. Plus, I need some kind of mini greenhouse for overnight storage. Cats will get in our stuff, right? Would you guys like to hear about cats and greenhouses? I can tell you a little story about that too. That's what we're doing here, using the logs from clearing those 4 acres. And the logs will last for a while. And if you have stone, you can kind of back it up and make it permanent. I think the logs decaying do add to the soil, but I think they also take nitrogen out. That's why you want to pile dirt on them and put compost on them, hugelculture. I'm not a perfect gardener. So you guys, if you know, and have done things, go with your own experience. It is a soil press that compacts soil into starting blocks. 1/2 inches, 2 inches, and there's a 4-inch block. No pots. Interesting. Then you can just stick it right in the ground. I have a friend who wants to do that, and I think my daughter-in-law made her own pots out of folded newspaper, and those can go right in the ground too. Gotta run. Work. Well, be safe out there. I don't have your email, Sister Kate. Okay. It's Morrigan, MORRIGAN 55 at Hotmail. Ladbrook originated the soil block press, I believe. Well, it's nice for you to give the source to that, to give them credit. There's Winter Night. Ciao Bella. Good morning, SK. It's rainy cats and dogs here in northern Italy. I'm frustrated because I have a peach tree to plant in my backyard. Just wait till the rain stops so the soil is wet and then plant it. The peach tree will like it. So with the cats and the greenhouse, excuse me. If you haven't watched my videos, my greenhouse is made from fence panels folded over and held in place by concrete block. And then I bought greenhouse plastic off Amazon. Was not very expensive. And it's held on by paper, what do they call them? C-clamps for paper. That's what holds it to the framework. So that's a cheap way to do a greenhouse. Just FYI, but it is warmer in there. And there's our cat that was foisted on us by her daughter, and then a wild cat who's her buddy now, and she figured out the greenhouse is warm, and so when I go in there, she goes in there and chills out, but she doesn't stay in there. I need to raise up my raised beds about 3 foot, so my wife has an easier time getting to everything. It might even be easier to make her beds for that are her height than you trying to get more soil in there, but I don't know, Westhold. There's Aid. Hey, Shalom. Are you anywhere near the fires? Faster and easier idea than I was planning. Thanks, SK. Save me some time and resources. Well, and I do have videos, several of my gardening videos show that greenhouse in it. So, I mean, you're welcome to watch them and then get your own ideas on size and everything like that. Let's see what else y'all have been saying. It saves a lot of time transplanting, right? And I'm not real good at the transplanting, and I lose plants because I don't do a great job of it. There's Thunder Chicken Ranch. Good morning. And Bad Wabbit, thanks for supporting the channel. And same to Northwest Arkansas Prepper. And Patty Sanchez. 2 to 3 hours south, I reckon. Oh, you sound like you're in the south anyway, I reckon. If it's south of you, isn't it heading north? Hasn't it gone up into Oklahoma? I think it's gone up into Oklahoma even. And Teresa Jukowitz, yes. Thanks for being a channel supporter. Let's see. I have the turnips. I have Brussels sprouts coming up, a whole bunch of them. I'm going to have to separate them because some of them are way too close together. The turnips, the potatoes, carrots, and I bought a rosemary plant that I think I might put down in the orchard just because it's supposed to be good for fruit trees. Is there anything else you all want to talk about? How many of you guys think you're going to get out and vote? Also, there's a whole thing. Well, there's Texas Chopper. Chicks are good, but we'll lose an old you today. Can't turn back the clock. Aw, that's too bad. But it's a good thing that she lived her life, like a long life. And she wasn't devoured by wolves or something. There's Teresa waving. Hey, Teresa. Anybody buy chicks? Anybody go to like TSC or Atwoods or Menards or order them online? I'm not doing any chicks this year just because I have enough hens and enough eggs. You saw on the other live stream the picture of eggs. I've got multiple. And I think about when it was like $11 a dozen and how much those eggs would be. It's been snowing here since last night. Oh my gosh. She gave a lot of wonderful lambs. Texas Chopper says, I will vote. Already early voted. I haven't been voting in a while, but there's some important local elections I want to be heard on if it really matters anymore. I think as an American, it's your right, and you probably ought to just exercise your right, whether it matters or not, because it's your right. Do any of your people do aquaculture or hydroponic? I don't think so. We may have one person. The problem with that is when you're trying to be off grid, you can't run the pumps and keep the water warm all year. It's just not effective. But if you're living in a regular house and you don't mind your electric bill and all that stuff, go for it. There you go. I always vote. Might not make a difference, but it makes me feel like I did my constitutional duty. Literally ordering chicks as I listen. I laugh out loud. Most of my flock is older right now, planning to do multiple runs to keep breeds separate for hatching out in the future. Wow, so you've got a big plan going, and I'm assuming a bunch of you're gonna have to have different housing and runs and stuff for each one. Some serious stuff. Waiting for others to hatch them, said Lost Light. Goat should be kidding this month. Yeah. And we had some kids go on with the flock that my son now has. My favorite goat had triplets, but she wouldn't mother them. And she had them while we were gone. So when we came back, they had already passed, which is really sad. But at least she was able to kid successfully without intervention. The little goat who had a cesarean last year aborted hers early, which is not a surprise. And then another mom had twin girls and one passed, but she mothered the other one. So out of what it's at six babies, one is living. And I've come to the conclusion after doing these goats for 5-6 years, this particular kind of goat, Nigerian dwarves or whatever they are, little ones, they're not as good at birthing as the full-sized goats. I don't remember having a problem with full-size goats except for an older nanny, and with assistance she still birthed her babies. But I think because they are so small, their genetics or whatever don't allow them always to successfly kid. And I did do the thing this year where I didn't give them extra grain. They they ate only grass or hay with, the occasional little bit of sunflower seeds. And so there was no size issues with them, which is what I was aiming for. But just the fact that we lose so many that it's kind of like, if you really want them to be for you and your sustainability, a full-size goat would be better, or somewhere in the mid-range. My favorite goat is more of a middle-sized goat, and she's never had a problem birthing her babies, but she's had a couple of seasons where she just wasn't going to mother them, and that's on her. Do they need selenium? They got mineral. I made sure they had mineral available, so I think their selenium was probably fine. Thinking about hiding some muscovies where I can't own chickens. I love ducks. I think ducks are a hoot, and if you get the right breeds, and I don't know about muscovies, I think they're very good at hatching babies. But like your pecans, the big white ones, will lay eggs pretty regularly, especially, here's another little tip from a homesteader, if you feed them green peas. And you can buy them canned or frozen, but that helps their egg production. Okay, do you grow sweet potatoes? I have grown sweet potatoes. And what I've done, seriously, is either put them in a casserole dish with water until they start sprouting, and then plant the entire potato, or bought them. I don't do the like separate the slit, put it in water, let it grow roots. I just plant the whole potato, and it's worked. Potatoes going out in the garden soon. They're getting eyes. They should be in the ground by March 17th. Here in Europe, we have elections for the EU Parliament in June. Basically, we'll have to choose between very woke and crazy woke. I'm seeing reels online on Instagram of the farmers doing all kind of shenanigans over there in France and Ireland and the Netherlands and so on, and I'm all for it. I hope that these farmers are making a difference politically. I do. And I don't blame them for being angry. Mine are mostly ND now, Nigerian dwarf, and have had just the opposite experience. Could be the bloodline also. I could have a bloodline thing. And I'm very glad you're having the opposite experience. Also, we're off grid. It's so daggone primitive. It would probably go better if we had a nice warm barn for them. But anyway, I've given them to my son just because of how my health issues are going this spring. And so right now I'm not concerned about them. I'm not having to deal with them. And I loved my goats. So who knows if I'll get more in the future. But I'm very glad you have a great experience with yours. I like the 180-pound pack goat types the pack goat YouTube guy has. Okay for meat, great for moving with livestock of emergency care. And that's the whole thing. But you have to train them to do that stuff. They don't just show up ready to walk and do all the things with you. But I love it. I love the idea. I love the concept. They can go anywhere you can go. They can eat anything. It's just a great idea. Good morning. Jimmy Carr, shalom. Welcome to the live stream. Several years ago, we had baby losses that sound like your experience and found they were short of selenium. Sometimes a loose mineral just isn't enough. And it could be that. I mean, it's possible. Are you talking about the firebox stove guy, Victory Garden? Thank you, said Texas Chopper. You seem so sweet. Are you okay? Yeah, I'm okay right now. I've got a little hernia surgery coming up and then some tests after that, and we'll just see. But I'm fine. I do a little bit less around the place than I used to, but not much. I was chainsawing just 2 days ago with my electric chainsaw and picking up wood and walking, and I doing some gardening. It's just with the hernias, I'm kind of limited until I get them fixed. And then I have to not pick up stuff that's too heavy for me to pick up. Oh, and I have to eat bland food, which I don't love, but I'm dealing with it. Keep your head high and you will get better. I feel like the Father... Okay, I'm going to talk religion here for a minute. If you don't like talking religion, then, you might want to tune out. I feel like Yahweh has brought the stomach issues up in order to alert me to the other issues, which are in very small stages and possibly not even a thing. So I'm not even getting, dramatic about it, because it may be nothing at all or something very easy to take care of. Time of rest. Exactly right. Like, we make our plans, but he has the overall plan, and sometimes you're not doing what you thought you were doing because he's got you doing what you need to be doing. Thank you. Thank you, Bad Rabbit. You are going to be well soon, said Vicky Fulkerson. You too, lady. I love talking to you because you have the right attitude, and it's important. It's important to not freak out. It's important to be positive, and I am. Like right now, I fully think the Father has it all, and the Bible says if something offends, your eye offends you, pluck it out. If your hand offends you, cut it off. Like, if stuff's not going to do what it's supposed to do, then let's just take care of it. That's the way I look at it. Glad you are doing better. You were in my prayers. Well, I'm not better yet, but I'm not better yet. I'm I'm in the in between, but I appreciate everyone praying for me. I think it's important. What type of new produce are you thinking of growing this year? I wouldn't, it's not new. I would just like to get a good cucumber batch going just for eating. I love eating cucumbers. And what happens here is vine borers get in the vine and they kill the vine. So I would love to do that. Mental attitude really affects all areas of your life, especially your body. I agree with that. And also when you're walking in the path and you're keeping your faith up, I think the Father lets stuff happen. And we make goals. God changes our plans. Much love and prayers. Thank you, Highlander. Um, Stories, if you would like to hear them, about how he has done some pretty amazing things in our community right now in a very general way. I'm going to grow quite a seed amaranth this year to help feed critters. I grew amaranth too. And I liked the amaranth. I got an orange variety that smelled orange, but the Hey Lamp Keeper Journey, the was actually harvesting it. And you can tell when it's ready, but it's so small and you have to separate the amaranth from its shell. I had a hard time out if I'd done it correctly, and I got like maybe a tablespoon of it. So to make it to make a good feed for your goats, like the ideal thing would be a field of it. And it's called pigweed out in the wild. It's very thorny, so it's not a nice weed to have around, but it's really nutritious for them. My sons had a flock of goats out in western Kansas, and the lady next door had a field full of it. I mean, it's considered a noxious weed, and it fed his goats all winter. They ate them down almost to nothing. So I love the idea, and I hope it works really well for you. Dwarf burpee cukes, very good. Get well soon. Thank you. Yeah, any pickling cuke. Okay, goats and chickens, yes, they do. So I hope it's great. So the one story is a young lady who had fibromyalgia. She started doing research, and she came to find out that the Israelis had done a study using the hyperbaric chamber, which is normally for nitrogen overdose for divers who come up too early. And they get nitrogen in their bloodstream, and it's like a pressurized oxygen chamber. Well, the Israelis found that if they used that for people with PTSD, because they found that PTSD is actual lesions on your brain that causes, certain reactions. So using a pressurized oxygen healed the brain lesions and helped people with the PTSD. And a side effect they found was that it also helped people with fibromyalgia. So this young lady told me, and I know a couple, both of them have fibro pretty badly. Storms affect them, pain, can't bend, muscles lock up. So I passed on the information, and they were able to start a treatment on it and saw good results. And I got to feed that back to the young lady who's also going to take that treatment. And then it's having ripple effects. I've had people ask me about it, and I've told them this is what she found. And these are medical studies. These are not just like the Globe, Israel said, ooh, HBOT, new miracle drug or whatever. No, it's medical studies. So that was one instance where within the community of people I know, someone was able to help someone else, and possibly more people. The second one is about alpha gal. Have you guys heard of that? I'm going to wait and see if I've heard of that. And I'm also going to get a drink because my throat's getting a little sore. Look into HBOT treatment in your area, Lamp Keeper. A lot of health stores, they're not gyms. They're the ones that'll like offer IVs and smoothie healthy drinks and stuff like that. Some of them are starting to have these chambers in there and include the treatments as part of the membership in the club. Okay, Sasha D. She is someone who maybe, if you're wielding a blue wrench, you might want to put her in timeout. Maybe I'm not talking about the same thing, Lamp Keeper. Oh, yeah, probably I was. Morning and shalom. Thank you, Ludley Dudley. That was Sasha D. She's already been taken care of. Terra Firma, thanks for the info. Okay, so there you go, right? There's a blessing. And I feel like that came directly from the Father through this young lady and then out to other people. I'm not a medical doctor. I'm just passing on to you the results that we have seen other people have. And you have to have 40 to 60 hours of the treatment in order for this to bear you results. And parts of the way through the treatment, you may have aches and pains in areas that were troubled for a couple of days, and then it feels better. Also, a warning, if you've had trauma in your life, sometimes there are resurgence memories of that during the treatment, but then again, that gets better too. So please try. There you go. Good one. So the second story is about this alpha-gal. Alpha-gal, mammalian meat allergy. Exactly right. Who said that? Lamp Keeper. Yep, alpha-gal. It comes from tick bites. It is a extreme allergy, and it is to, she said, mammal products, and it's different each person. Some people get it more seriously than others. It's kind of like Lyme disease, but not exactly. And it's something that a few people I know have. And the first person who got it started doing a lot of research into it and passed on information to other people about it. And then recently, one of the people that we know has had to have medical procedures, and when you have the alpha-gal, you have to actually look at the meds you're taking, because some meds have animal product in it, like collagens, or it's, a blood derivative or whatever. And so in order to have a medical procedure, someone with alpha-gal has to have a very specific, safe list of medications they can use, and there is one online. So that's another blessing of someone having an issue, doing research, finding out information, and being able to pass it on to someone else to their benefit. So I feel like all of that was Yah moving things in order to help his people. And I think it's interesting in the group. Inner Panic, it's going fine. I'm happy to talk to y'all. Oh, also that HBOT treatment, it is being shown to help people who have had surgeries heal faster, including people with cancer who have had radiation treatment and get like radiation burn from the radiation treatment. In 85% of them, it helped heal the radiation burn. And it can also possibly be a good treatment to have before a surgery to help the recovery after the surgery. So I'm going to pass that on as well. Okay, back to, hang on. Milk proteins as well, says Teresa Jukowicz. Yes, when they're talking mammalian products, it can be milk, it can be butter. With at least one of these people, he can't even touch, like his livestock having babies, he can't even touch the young with the blood still on them. with the umbilical cord and all that stuff. He's got to have gloves. He can't really be around any of that. So it can be very, very sensitive and touchy. Wound care, yes, Texas Chopper says. Exactly. They're finding that it helps wound care, and it's just pressurized oxygen. So I'm not saying it's a be-all, end-all. I'm saying it is a treatment that can help other treatments and possibly help with things like fibro. So yeah, there's my two stories, Patty. How is everybody else's days going? I think that's a good question to ask. What's the best part of your day? What's the worst part of your day? Dustin, for some butter, flour, milk, pepper, whisk until thick, place on biscuits. Sounds pretty yummy. Sounds almost like biscuits and gravy. I'm waiting for you guys. I guess my internet's kind of slow. I'm waiting for you guys to tell me what's the best part of your day, what's the worst part of your day. Baby penguin, there's a troll, but it's okay. Oh, no, wait a minute. The smoke isn't choking me out. Are you in the Texas fire area, baby penguin? Daughter's blood is too acidic right now, and I think they're talking about using the chamber on her too. Yeah, I kind of felt that was right there when I saw your name, and I was like, again, I'm not a doctor, but I think it's good. Also about acidity, I'm drinking alkaline water right now, just because I have too much acidity in my stomach. Until I get the surgery. So I'm drinking alkaline water and eating these bland, non-acidic foods. All right, so let's see what we got. Sundown's to start Shabbat. That's the good thing coming. Love that. Best part, when the bread is baking and I'm sitting in front of the fireplace. Worst part? I don't think there is a worst part. Awesome. Today is fine. Yesterday was a bust. Well driller, owner of the company, stood me up. Grr. Ooh, that is kind of a pain. You're gonna have to find another one, maybe. The good ones show up, or at least let you know that they're going to be late. Sorry you had that experience. Unfortunately, I have the day off of work, but I will get grocery shopping done. Best part will be transplanting sprouts into the garden. I could see the smoke, yes. Yeah, that's kind of terrifying. My husband is keeping track of that fire, and fire is no joke. Just like tornadoes are no joke. Like fire it's merciless. It's so destructive. And things like wind, do not start a fire outside if it's a windy day. I don't care if you have a hose. I don't care if you have a lake next door. Don't do it. It's just so, it's fuel for the flames and they don't stop. We had marsh fires last month. Holy smokes. That means your area must be kind of dry if a marsh can burn. Praise Yah, they got a bunch of rain and snow in the area of fires yesterday. Yeah, praise Yah for that. That's the whammy for the fire right there. I mean, people are trying to control them and contain them, but when you get a good drenching, that's what really helps. Let's see. The entire community was smoked out. Some communities were burned too, right? Have friends that have famous cows now. They were the ones leading their feeder cows away from the flames on the news. Oh, I didn't see that. That's cool. I was taking my walk while I listened. I was carrying a trash picker up, so it's kind of working. I think the problem is that he's the best and he knows it, so he does what he wants. Plus, the hubby used to work for him, so maybe he thinks he gets a pass on customer service. I'd try somebody else. The fire is burning up the grazing land too, so harder to feed the cows, and that could be a another one of those things that affects the price of beef. And it's going to make hay in other areas price go up and be worth more, which is great for the hay growers, but it will affect the local economy there. It'll make some people, have to struggle to get hay. Vicky Fulkerson, today is going well. Yesterday was busy with a lamb slaughter and making chili and bread for dinner. Was busy. Friends helped us out resting up today. That sounds very productive, Vicky, and it's going to be delicious, that lamb. I'm subscribing to your channel because you seem nice. Well, thank you. Canadian Texas was burned up for the most part. The reel that I saw on that showed dead animals too, which made me sad. I don't know if those were antelope or cattle. They didn't look huge, but it's very sad that the wildlife suffers and animals will suffer from the fire as well as humans. I mean, it's very, very sad for the people, but it's also, kind of heart-wrenching. If it were rain on the ash, the grass will come in beautifully. Fire is important to the short grass prairie. Prefer to do controlled burns. Yep, works great. Okay, let's see. Oh. Sorry, I removed somebody's comment that I didn't mean to. Let me see if I can go back and reestablish that one. No. All right. Vicky Fulkerson, shalom to one of my favorite people. What a sweet thing to say. Tom Kitty, love your energy. I just hope they don't find any more dead. Me too. Gonna have lamb Sunday for work day on the homestead. Well, that is very, very productive. I'm impressed. I just hope they know. Yep. Thank you, Mad Cow. All right, guys, I'm going to give the live stream about 3 more minutes, and then I'm going to get out of here because I get to go have breakfast now, and I'm very excited about that. I don't know what I'm having, but I like breakfast. I had a scone and some yogurt yesterday. It was so good. Maybe you guys could tell me your favorite breakfast food. I'm shutting down in 2 minutes, 20 seconds. Uh-oh, we're going to have a photo bomb. 2 minutes. 2-minute warning. Have a great weekend. Shalom, sister. Have a safe weekend. Thank you. Y'all have an amazing day. Westhold, you too. I hope those garden things, you get to take care of that soon, because I'm sure your wife wants to get some stuff from the ground. Shalom, PJ. Oh, there's my book. Shameless plug. If you don't have it, it's only $13. It's on, what is that place called? Amazon and Barnes & Noble and all those things. And there's another shameless plug for his book, available at the same time. Yep. Y'all have a beautiful day and a restful Shabbat. Have a blessed Shabbat and weekend. Shalom, PJ, says Mrs. Lovely Dudley.
Hello.
Yes, he's been out working and shooting bids, and don't know what his prep day is going to be like. I got to wash dishes. That's like my one thing I said I would do today. Woo, so, right? Getting so much done. Let's see. Cooking in my house is an adventure, gluten-free, dairy-free. An egg-free paleo for an alpha-gal restrictions for my husband. Yep, here, honey, have a cucumber. Enjoy it. Abe got his from eBay. He probably got a great deal on it. I have new ideas for her garden, thanks to you. Well, good. I'm glad. I want everyone else love a big cinnamon roll for breakfast. Ooh, that sounds delicious. Yay, breakfast. And what else? You have a great day. Be safe. I love self-rising flour now, too. I've been using it. I'm lazy. And that way I don't have to worry about if it's baking soda, baking powder, yeast, whatever. just throw that guy in there and throw some fruit on it, and it's great. A very good read for preparedness. God bless you all. Hope you have a restful Shabbat. You too. There's Pharma. Hey, Pharma, you'll probably want to watch the video I just put up. Sister Kate Wake Up. I think you will enjoy that video, and you guys pass that on to your friends too. You caught me, but I'm about to sign off. I got about a minute, so if there's anything you want to say, say it. We have both books must-haves. Shalom. Dishes are one of my duties around the home. I love it. Feels so productive. It is very productive, and I don't mind boiling the water because I like using hot water because it's very effective. Are you guys doing Jerusalem artichokes? I need to find some. We think we have some here, but we've never gotten any root, so we're not a great source for it. I apologize. If it will never or hasn't had a pulse, I don't eat it. Self-rising flour is wonderful. Have a blessed day. Have a great Shabbat. Okay. All right, y'all. Bless you. And Farm Mom makes great soap. Her channel on Instagram is Soapy Acres, I believe, and she makes wonderful bars of soap. So if you want natural made soap, get them from her. She's a wonderful lady. All right, y'all. Bless you. Shalom. All right.